Hey, what's up everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so it's the first time in probably over a month. It feels like, honestly, it's really been about a week and maybe some change that I'm actually getting out with the intentions of going to Hollywood. It's been a good break. I think for me, the trip is starting to become a little monotonous. And so at the same time, while I do want to get out and be consistent about climbing hills and stuff like that, sometimes it's good to miss where you go every day, you know what I mean? Rather than just see it every day. Take some time off and then get back to it. And I guess that's what I'm calling myself doing. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Celebrating Love Day with everybody, man. That's good energy. Hope you're enjoying it. I feel pretty good. Nothing special going on my end. I just feel like it's time to get out the house and make the long trip. I could do everything I can do locally, all of the things that I need to do rather locally, but it's time to make that trip. It's time to do the backpack walking thing. It's time to get some fresh air. I've been in the house cooped up a lot more probably than I ever have in any other room. I think this is the most I've stayed in the house without being sick since living in North Hollywood. And it's cool, man. It's been good for me. I've been praying a lot. I've been doing a lot of playlists over the last couple of days. I've knocked out 3 of them. None of the art has been done for any of those playlists, but I like what I did, like a rock mix, acoustic mix last night, which was the K-List 443. I did the K-List 442 previous nights before that. It was a bunch of R&B, hip-hop type stuff, really good R&B music. And then the day before that, I did Delicity 444, which was a bunch of female R&B ballads that just came out, stuff like LMA, just a few other artists like that, and I just put them all in the same playlist. There's only one song or maybe 2 songs with males on it. Everybody else is women on that playlist. So I've been doing a lot of what I love to do, man. A lot of art pieces over the last week or so. I probably made about 10 or 11 art pieces that have yet to be posted. So I've just been consistent with what I do, but not necessarily completing the mission, which is to, you know, post all of it and stuff. I just haven't been doing that. But it's definitely some stuff in the tank, or in the shelf, as they call it, or whatever. So looking forward to plenty more of that as over the next several, I say, days leading up to Wednesday when it's time to leave the room. So yeah, man, today is a day to get out, get some fresh air. Feel some warm sun on my skin for a change. Being cooped up is not what I like to do anymore. It don't have the same vibe that it used to when I lived in Lenox. It's not. It ain't cute. But for what it is, I've been trying to accomplish with the Lakers, dealing with my health, trying to save money. It made sense for me for a little bit to just kind of hang back. And so yeah, it feels good to be out. It feels good to do my routine once again and see what comes of it today. But there's a lot of stuff we haven't talked about because of it. Obviously, you guys have been seeing my face if you're Laker fans, because I've been doing the Laker videos, but no therapy sessions really, with the exception of maybe some local ones. So I figured I'd see what comes of this one. So there's a lot of stuff, man. First of all, I'm still trying to get my what do you call it? A GR fund going. Trying to get them to turn that back on. I figured they wouldn't hit me up in the 3 days that we last talked about. I hit them on Wednesday. They said they had 3 business days to respond. I didn't think they were going to respond on no Friday. So I'm still waiting. No updates there. Haven't heard from the gastroenterologist at all. I was supposed to call him yesterday. I just didn't do it. I just decided to let that breathe, and I'll catch them back on Monday and try to see what happened, why they didn't keep their end of the bargain up in regards to my appointment with them. I spoke with my uncle. He's back in town. We'll be ready for Bible study on Sunday, which is tomorrow, for the first time in like 3 weeks, because of course he went on his cruise. I haven't heard how it went, but he sent me a text and asked me an update on what was going on with my doctor's situation, so I was able to give him that. I washed these damn shoes 3 times. 3 times. They kind of still had a smell to it a little bit. That was actually another component of not going to Hollywood, because I really hate walking long distances in those other squeaky shoes. Going to Hollywood, climbing hills, and those other ones is just not as comfortable to me. But for me, it was like a big thing because these shoes stunk so bad. But I've put them in the washer over the last 2 weeks. I've been staying off of them. I pulled the laces out, all of that. Put them things in the laundry one day. It didn't do much for the smell. So I put them in yesterday twice. I put them on hot water. And then when I was done, I had let them wash by themselves. And I threw the clothes in with them for another wash on warm. So it's like they have definitely been washed. They smell better. They you can still faintly smell that horrific smell that I was complaining about. But I think we're in a space where I can put them back on at least. They don't smell unless you put them up to your nose, put it like that. And so I will wash them again. Next time I do laundry, I'll do it again. But I don't think it's going to need much more than that to get back to normal. So that was a big thing for me, man. Them shoes are just diabolically bad. After stepping in that puddle, I was complaining about it. But I yet to put them in the laundry. Well, they've been washed 3 times now. So I think I'll feel a lot better after we get to about a 5th wash. Then I think we'll be completely back to where we need to be. The shoes may be damaged because of all this laundry in, but I'd rather have these damaged shoes on than the crap that had the smell going with itself. So I'm comfortable. I'm back wearing these shoes right now for the first time in probably since I complained about it. Since the first time since I've been in this room, really. So yeah, it feels good to be back into my regular shoes. These shoes are much more comfortable for walking at this point. And they don't squeak when I walk. So little stuff like that, broke people problems, you know what I mean? I'm humble in my space. I know the Lord will work things out. I am just living my life the way that I am. I still don't prioritize money over everything. I just sacrifice what I need to sacrifice, live humbly as I need to live humbly, and keep my leverage in life. I'm not selling out just because I have needs. I've always had needs. I'm living better right now than I was 6 years ago when I started this channel. I ain't changing my tune on nothing. You know what I mean? Everything I do for the love of it or the appreciation of it. Money is very important, but it also requires you to sell your soul in order for you to effectively have enough of it to do all the things necessary. So I'm a firm believer that you rather take what God gives you in the humble spaces than to take what the devil gives you in the most comfortable spaces. If the Lord wants you to be comfortable, he'll make sure you're comfortable. That's the way I look at it. I ain't taking nothing from the devil. And I guess that leads me to my next conversation. It was a concept that I had in my head over the last 2 weeks. I didn't have a chance to talk about it. But at the end of the day, it comes down to, if you're going to listen to the devil on anything, you're going to lose. And the thing about the devil is, a lot of times we're looking around the Epstein files and learning what we're learning about Israel, learning what we're learning about the elites and how they sacrifice children, all the evil stuff that, is in those files. It's really been speculated on and talked about for years, but now we finally have some concrete, evidence of behaviors. And, they worship Moloch. They worship Baal, also known as the devil in drag. It's the same old devil. But what these people don't understand, what they're willing to do, is everything that the devil wants them to do, which is everything awful. Anything God wouldn't want you to do, anything that's going to bring trauma to the earth, anything that's going to bring about bad energy, just devious nonsense, right? It's all about the hate of the world when it comes to the devil and all of his various versions of drag, whatever you do. But at the end of the day, what these people do not understand, when they do what they do in his name, whether they're telling us they're doing it for God or not, and 9 out of 10 times they're going to say they're doing it for the God that we serve, or insinuate that we all serving the same God, when they know damn well they serve Moloch. They know damn well they serve Baal. They know the devil. You know that. What it really comes down to is what they don't quite believe, what they need to believe is that he's going to betray them, and he's going to cower at the feet of the Lord. That's a concept that came to mind. A lot of these people, they're doing all this stuff in the name of the devil. They assume that when it comes down to the devil and God standing up to one another, that there's going to be some grandiose fight, that the devil is going to be throwing blows at God and God's going to be throwing blows at the devil, and they're going to have this grandiose war where it's a lot going on. Maybe they lose. They probably think at the end they probably ain't going to beat God, but they think it's going to be some grandiose fight where they all go down and have lived these evil lives that reap so many short-term benefits, and then in the end they're going to have some type of grandiose fight where maybe they have a chance of winning. Maybe God will be so hurt and so saddened by all the loss that comes to him that he'll just walk away in some type of defeat where they can continue doing what they're doing. That's kind of how they look at it, or some variation of them winning the war. The Lord has made it very clear to me that what's going to actually take place in those situations, what I've seen in just other aspects of different things that we hear about. For example, in the Bible it says every knee will bow. And you hear about demons, different demons, but when they see the Spirit of God, they cower and they run. You know, I think about some verse in the Bible that spoke on a bunch of demons coming out of people and running into pigs, and then those pigs proceeding to commit suicide at once. Anybody ever heard that story? Like, those concepts came to mind as I was contemplating the devotion that a lot of these people have to whatever version of the devil that they serve, whatever his name is going to be today, whatever cosplay he's pretending to be for them in that corner of the earth. Moloch, Baal, whoever they held, Lilith, whoever he decides he wants to pretend to be at a given moment. The concept of those stories all came rushing into my head as I was thinking about their devotion. What's going to end up happening is that the devil is going to cower. He's going to cower. When it comes down to the great fight, when he has to face the Lord, he's going to bow. That's what he's going to do. And all of you people who've been serving him, all the people who've been serving him are going to be disappointed in his behavior in the presence of God, because he's not going to fight. He gonna cower. And that's what they don't understand. That's the context that a lot of these devil worshipers and these people who are serving Baal secretly, pretending to be Jewish, pretending to be Christian, but really serving the devil's whatever his cosplay is for the day, whatever drag he want to wear that day. What they're going to find out is that they're going to be in the front lines and he going to be somewhere cowering in the corner. The one they serve, he's going to cower. He's going to bow. He's going to punk out. He ain't going to have no heart. That's what I want them to understand. That's what somebody needs to say to these people. That's what someone needs to put out in the ethos in the internet. It's what the Lord I serve, the actual God of Abraham, the one who wants us to survive and live and love and be happy, and wants to continue creating and giving us new concepts of greatness and all these different things from which to experience. He put it in my heart to tell y'all, the devil is going to cower, fam. He's not going to stand tall when the metal hits the road. He gonna run. A lot of y'all serving him thinking he gonna stand tall, thinking that you're gonna have some grandiose fight. No. He's going to bow. And it ain't going to take no time. God's going to face him. God's going to pull out the sword. He going to piss his pants. He's going to drop to the floor and he going to bow and say, sorry, that's exactly what's going to happen in your grandiose in-game fight. That's what's going to happen. And I'm getting chills as I'm telling y'all that, because I know that what I'm saying is true. And I know that 99.9% of the people who are serving Satan are not expecting this. It's part of the wool over their eyes. They can't see that. He's a coward. That's why he lies. That's why he has you lying for him. Because he is afraid of what comes with the truth. That fear would not be present if he weren't the coward that I'm describing to you. He's not going to stand tall. How many things that I've said in this camera over the last several years that have some variation of it has been true, based on what has been revealed to us up until the point I'm recording right now? A lot, right? A lot. Things that I've said subtly have now been rising to the top of the glass, so to speak, like foam with beer. You understand what I'm saying? Like foam with champagne. Like a lot of stuff that I've been telling y'all is starting to be shown to us in 2026. These people did serve the devil. That genocide, it was a human sacrifice of children, just like any other sacrifice, but on a grandiose scale. A lot of this stuff is being exposed to us. I've been telling y'all this. I told y'all this near the beginning of the genocide. Yo, this feels like a sacrifice. There's no real purpose to this. They're targeting children. Why are they targeting children? It doesn't harbor any benefit to them. It's not about benefit. It's about sacrificing to something that they expect to stand tall against God. It's going to cower. I didn't say all that, but I'm telling you now, that's what he's going to do. And I want to tell you something else that the Lord put in my heart too. And this is specifically for those who've been sacrificing children to Baal. Baal don't have none of those kids' souls. I said a prayer this morning. And I said, God, see to it that the devil releases the souls of the kids that were sacrificed in his name by these evil individuals throughout all space and time. That's one of the things I talked about. Throughout the course of the existence, these people have been sacrificing children since it was probably only 7 people here. They was throwing, kids out for the sake of the devil. They've been doing this since the beginning of time. This is not a new practice. And so in my heart, I was saying to myself, yo, man, Lord, get them babies out of that hell. Because obviously these people are sacrificing them specifically to one of the devil's cosplay, characters, Baal, right? So they offer the baby up to Baal. They put the baby in the hot furnace or whatever. Just pure evil, right? And I was like, man, they gave these baby souls to the devil. So Lord, get those babies out of there. If nobody's ever prayed that prayer, let me be the one praying it. And the Lord put it in my heart as clear as day. Hey, they ain't got none of them kids. Baal ain't had none of them damn kids. The devil doesn't have any of those children. They offered those children up to the devil. The Lord received them. The devil never got them kids. They didn't spend one moment with Baal. Any child that was ever sacrificed in the name of the devil or any of his cosplay, their spirits never got in the hands of the devil. He never touched them. He never got them. So Lord put in my heart this morning. He never got them kids, ain't there? And you got to ask yourself, do you think the Lord would let the devil have any of the souls that he didn't intend for them to have? No. That's the whole point. The devil is a liar. These people are offering up kids to the devil and they're not even landing in his hands. Don't tell all you Zionists out there who are comfortable with them offering up kids to the devil, of whom you say is God, when you know and I know that's not the same God we serve. You know that's not God. You know who that is. You know who that star is for on your flag. I know who that star is for on your flag. Y'all lie habitually, strategically, and are dedicated to those lies, and they don't end nor begin anywhere. We understand this. And so because we understand this, we don't move in a direction where we still put 2 and 2 together as it pertains to what you said and expecting it to be some truth to it. The reality is, everything y'all do is a fallacy. Everything. Y'all lie when y'all don't have to because lying is the purpose. You've lost sight of why you lie. There's no reason to do so in a lot of cases. That's why a lot of confusion is in place, devilish confusion, because sometimes lies are told when it don't even make any sense to tell them. And one of the things that is a lie that we have to work into our equation is the what happens to the things that they are doing as it pertains to what is the consequence or what are the behaviors that come from what it is they do. Those things are lies too. They sacrificing children to the devil never even gets those souls. That's a lie. The killings are real. What they're doing, they're killing is real. But the sacrifice never actually lands in the hands of who they intend for it to. It don't ever get there. The devil know that. He know these people are putting their faith in him. He a liar, that of whom does not have any alignment with truth whatsoever. And so too are the little things that you tend not to think about. Like what comes of the children that y'all sacrificing to the devil. It ain't not going to the devil. He don't have them babies. Not at all. And so I want to give some peace to the people who've lost children in these situations, whether it be genocides or abductions that led to sacrifices, because you know these people doing this stuff left and right. Your child, though these individuals, these spiritually bankrupt individuals who placing their faith in the devil, believe lies that child was then sacrificed and handed to the devil in whatever spirit. The reality is God got those kids as soon as they crossed over. They never got a chance to touch the souls of those little ones. They may have taken their lives, but they don't have their spirits. And the devil ain't gonna want to hear this. Those who first serve him are not gonna want to hear this, because y'all did a lot of that for nothing. For nothing. That's the energy you need to know is true. Though you're at war with the truth, sometimes the truth is much to your benefit. It can help you with your effort that you're dishing out. It can help you with the devotion and what you expect from that devotion. But since you're at war with the truth, you are none the wiser in regards to wasted energy and misplaced faith and misplaced support. Where you're placing your support, it's all a fallacy. The devil is not strong. He's not going to stand tall at all. He wants you to stand tall, stand in the front lines, and sacrifice yourself and your children for his behaviors. If he comes up against that same pressure, all he's going to do is cower. That's what he got you for. He ain't got to be strong. He got you for that. He ain't got to face the truth. You're alive for him. He ain't got to be reminded that the smallest, most innocent child is stronger than him, because you're going to kill them kids for him. To erase that truth from his reality. That's why he wants you to kill them kids, because he knows that he's less powerful than the most innocent a child. The most harmless a child. The most harmless of innocence is a bully to his spirit, because he's that cowardice. And then most people don't understand that. They place their faith in the devil, and the devil is a liar. He ain't gonna stand tall. When it matters most, he's not gonna stand tall. And he gonna betray all. Everybody. Y'all be getting mad at snitches. Oh, snitches are bad guy. All these snitches, they telling on everybody. What the hell you think the devil is? He's a rat. He's a rat spirit. That's what I'm trying to tell all of you. A lot of y'all on these streets, y'all doing the devil's bid, thinking you're gonna. I've heard so many people, so many lost spirits. Oh man, I found so much integrity in the streets. I met some real good people in the streets. They taught me how to stand tall. Man, the devil's out here. He ain't stand tall on nothing. What's the point? He's not strong enough to take the loss. Take what I just said, for example, at the start of this video. When I talked about my shoes, having to wash them shoes, they're dirty. I can't afford to buy any others right now. Not without digging into some money that I can't afford to let go of, I guess is what I'm saying. I could buy some shoes. I could also find myself in a situation where I need my savings, and I won't have it. Right? That is a reality that a lot of people are running from. They'll sell their souls to have to keep from living that reality. They mirror the enemy in that regard, because that's how he is. They're so afraid of poverty that they will put you through pain, put them through pain, sacrifice kids to that devil, do all this and that, just so they can have enough money so that they don't have to experience simple things that I'm telling you I'm walking down the street fine with. Their dignity and their ego won't allow them to humble themselves in those spaces. And the spiritual bankruptcy of their intentions won't allow them to see where they're sacrificing even more so on the back end. When they devote themselves, whether directly or indirectly, to a coward. Same logic. Anybody that follows the devil don't understand. They following a rat. Following a coward, he's not going to stand tall, man. He's not. You doing whatever you're doing in his name, hurting people, doing this. Try to keep yourself from facing humble spaces, from taking on the worst of your fears. That is cowardice. That's what he on. He on that. I'll step on you, and you, so I don't have to live out here. I'm looking around at people who are living out here. Who's stronger? The one who's willing to serve up somebody else's children to keep from being poor, or the people who are poor? I say the people who are poor. They stronger. Because y'all can't live in the spaces they living in. You'll sell your souls before you let that happen. Y'all weak. And you mirror the devil that you serve. And I tell y'all, there's not a whole lot of difference between not believing in God and doing whatever you have to do to survive and serving the devil. It's not a whole lot different. Because that fear of what happens to you will inherently make you selfish, inherently make it so that you're cowardice in some key areas, and maybe you're not able to see, and as a result, you'll be a problem for other people, if not for your willingness to just stay in the spaces that are humble, for which many are living in right now. Poverty sucks, yes. Hard work, hard, yes. Being dirty, icky, yes. But you don't see how dirty it is to be an elitist. When you move as an elitist and you're serving up children and you're letting people get hurt and all these different things, when you're rigging governments against people, you are just as dirty as what it is that you try to avoid in regards to poverty. You're dirty of the spirit, you're dirty of the heart, you're dirty of the reputation, you're dirty of the mind. You are lost. And the Lord will get you stronger. But you would have none of that because you're going to be following the devil down his fear places, hoping that you can hide behind him when he's looking to hide behind you. You mad at God for creating something called poverty of the world and risking an eternal soul when you're only going to be on this earth for 70 years, 80 years, whatever you're going to get. You tell me that's good math? That's terrible math. You tell me God don't exist, but then you see all these people doing all these things in the name of the enemy. Why would they do everything in the name of the enemy if God didn't exist? Why are they sacrificing kids to Moloch if God don't exist? They know he exists. They're counting on you being too ignorant, whether you believe in God and religion or don't believe in God and religion. They're counting on you being too ignorant to do the right thing. That's what it is. They benefit whether you're a religious idiot or an atheist. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why they infiltrated Judaism. That's why they infiltrated Christianity. Because they know a good portion of these people, they are not of God. They just want to be of the group of human beings that get along in the areas of religion. But they're really cowardice because they ain't going to live poor if necessary to keep from having to sell their souls. They ain't going to struggle, not if they don't have to. They're going to eat up all the propaganda that tells them they need to have more in order to be worth more. God is not telling you that. God's telling you to take on the sacrifices necessary so that you can hold your soul in this evil world, not for you to sell it and align with people who are doing so you can fit in with them. They don't say nothing like that in the Bible. But y'all betray what's in the Bible because you don't serve God. You serve a desire to not be afraid. That's what you serve. You serve a desire to not feel left out. That's what you serve. And those things are the mouth of the devil. It's the mouth of the devil. That's what it is. And the world you're in has taught you how to be that way. How to value celebrities, how to value billionaires, how to look at people like me and not think anything smart is going to come out of our minds because they've taught us how to be a certain way, and that's all we're supposed to be. And they have so much faith in that propaganda, but that propaganda has failed them time and time again. They don't even understand the people they're trying to control, and yet they have so much confidence that the control methods have worked. And then when they try to get in touch with us, they don't get us. And you put your faith in them, you think that's the winning team? The devil's counting on you being stupid. Many people are stupid, arrogant, and weak, just like the devil they serve. They want to call themselves Christians, but then they want to stiff-arm people that don't look like them, treating people poorly. Where does it say that in the Bible? It never said that in the Bible. Thou shalt treat dark people like meat. Thou shalt treat human beings like cattle. It didn't say nothing like that. That's what you chose to do. And because you're an enemy of God, you hide behind religion to justify in the short term all of the evil that you want to do amongst people who are not smart enough to see through it. And in the long term, to deter people away from religion as to not find God themselves in hopes of converting more people like you both ways. That's the job. And it's a failure. Because in the presence of having this great army, all he gonna do is say, I'm sorry, God, I didn't mean it. You know how I am, God. That's all the devil gonna say when it's time to fight. You win, man, damn, you win. That's all he gonna say. He ain't gonna stand tall. He ain't gonna look around at that army and say we could defeat God. He ain't that type of stupid. He expecting you to be. I tell you, each and every one of you devil worshippers got more heart than the devil you serve, I promise. You got more heart than him. He ain't gonna stand tall in the end. You are. You're gonna be the one swinging at God and he gonna wipe you away. He gonna be cowering in the corner somewhere, scared. And that's the context that a lot of y'all don't understand. Y'all serving up your souls to stand on the front line for a coward. He's not going to stand. He's not. And as I told y'all in a different conversation along different lines, the Lord will forgive you, but your punishment still come, man. And when that punishment hit, this is just what it is. Human beings, when they forgive you, that means they likely not gonna do nothing else. All right, yeah, I forgive you, cool, we cool now. Stay over there, I'm gonna be over here. Or, best case scenario, we could do business again, we cool. That's not how God works. God will forgive you and you will be going through the most excruciating pain for the most long length of time. And he'll just sit there saying, I love you. And you just be sitting there in the worst of pain because he doesn't operate emotionally when it comes to these type of things. His discipline is going to be the worst ass whooping you've ever had. And he'll be sitting there saying, I got your back. And you'll just be taking on the worst of lashings. Human beings don't work that way. When we forgive you, it's cool. If we don't forgive you, then we're giving you all of the wrath. No, that's not how God works. The wrath still comes. He's still whooping on you. And he's saying, yep, and I got your back, son. You can get through this. And he's just putting you through the worst of pain, lasting for thousands of years. And you're just sitting there in hellfire. And he's just sitting there with the most welcome smile on his face because he forgave you already. But that doesn't exclude you from the consequences of your behavior and the welcomings of your behavior. It doesn't exclude that. You did what you did. And there are things that come with that. And a lot of us believe that we can just repent. And then it exudes them consequences from our lives. We don't have to have them consequences rather. Nah, that's not how that works. Trust me, I'm telling you, I've seen it in my own life, man. He forgave me and then kicked my butt. Bad, bro. Bad. He told me everything was going to be all right. And it was. That's the thing. You be sitting up there saying, man, you told me everything was going to be right. It will. When you go through this ass whooping, it's going to be fine. When you deal with these 10,000 years of excruciating fire and pain, yeah, after that, he going to dust you off and say, all right, you've done what you need to do. You made it right. That's what he's going to say. But during the duration of that time, yeah, you're going to go through something. A lot of it. And it could have been avoided. And you're going to understand that. That's going to be the hard part, is understanding it could have been avoided. That you served the coward. That you mortgaged eternity for whatever your lifetime would be. Some of us don't even live past 35, 40 years old, mortgaging our entire soul so that we can live comfortably for 30 years. Yeah, you're going to understand all of that throughout them 10,000 years of fire and pain. You're going to understand all of that. And that's the part that's very difficult, because when we do what we do, we don't understand those things. But when you're going through the punishment, you're going to understand all of that. And so I'm telling y'all, who serve the enemy to whatever degree you do, the Lord will definitely forgive you. He will always be willing to forgive those who are repentant. But that does not mean that you won't go through what people go through when they don't. Do you see what I'm saying? Those things are coming. For your behaviors, those things are coming. God wants to have a relationship with all of us. He know the devil gonna cower in the end. He know how betrayed we gonna feel. He know how we gonna look at the end of them 10,000 years, 20,000, 3 million, whatever it is he put us through a punishment. He knows all this. He see all that. He knows what you're gonna say. He already heard it already, as if it's already taken place. He sees the end of the road for your spirit, not let alone your life. He know what you're gonna say. He know how sorry you're gonna be. You may not be now. He knows. Devil don't have that understanding. He just has fears and arrogance. That's it. He don't know what God gonna do next. He don't even know what you gonna do next. And y'all serving him with the same devotion that you should be pouring into God. You don't want to submit to God, but you submit to the enemy. The enemy don't have no answers. God has the pen in hand, has the art piece already drawn out. He has it all. It's already done. You won't submit to him because he wants to hold you accountable. But the context to understand about that accountability is his all understanding, fullness of his knowledge and scope. He can see all. So he knows what's best for you. He wants what's best for you. If he didn't want you to have anything, you wouldn't exist to have anything. The devil wants to give you the things that are going to break you and put you in a position to where you feel betrayed in the end and will have exerted more energy and more devotion in empty spaces. That's what he wants to do. That you would have sacrificed so much that would otherwise mean so much and care not for what means so much just the same. That's what he wants to do to you. He's not interested in making you whole or anything like that. It's the opposite. He wants to break you. And so a lot of people are devoting themselves to him in rebellion against that for which understands all. And they have no trust for what understands all, for reasons that are shallow in nature in a lot of cases and short-sighted at best in a lot of cases. Short-sighted. I don't trust God because he let this happen. It's a million things that are going on at the same time. That had to happen in order for a million beautiful things to bloom. And you don't believe in God because you saw that thing, but you don't see the things that he's blooming from that thing. You don't get none of this. You just saw something that scared you, you didn't like it, and you said it's so empty that you believe in God because of that thing. You don't even see what comes of that thing. And I've had conversations with God about things that I didn't like a lot of the time, but never was I stupid enough to believe that the fullness of his understanding is not to be trusted, but then to turn to the devil, who's a damn coward, and think that devoting myself to him is going to be a good, sufficient thing to do. Instead, it's not. It's stupid. God's the creator. The devil is one of many creations. You're going to devote yourself to the creation or the creator? A lot of y'all don't believe in nothing at all, and as a result, you're feeding the devil. You're feeding him. Y'all believe in money. Y'all believe in power. Y'all believe in strategy. That's stupidity, man. That's devil. That's the devil, fam. He ain't got nothing to do with nothing as it pertains to what is and what should be. He's just trying to react to what it is that he feels, his fears. That's it. That's all he's doing is reacting to fears. He's scared. And he wants you to stand in front of him so he can feel safe. That's what that's about. He wants you to do his bidding so that he don't feel alone when the consequences come for his choices. That's all that's about. He wants you to hate others the way that he hates himself, so that you can be as mistaken as he's been all this time. That's all it's about. There's no good that comes out of that. Following him, doing what he wants you to do, nothing good comes of that. Disciplining yourself against those things that he's on is what's going to yield you the best results in your life, and a life that is fleeting. And I was listening to Joe Budden's podcast this morning. He says this saying. He says, life is a series of moments, and moments pass. So make sure this one lasts as if it's all we have. So one of the things that sticks with me every time I listen to his podcast, because it's true. You ain't going to be here that long. These moments are going to pass. Here today, gone tomorrow, and you will have mortgaged so much of forever for a fleeting moment. Moments pass, man. You're devoting yourself to the devil, doing things that God hates, despises, when he has your entire eternity at his mercy. You're yielding to the power of man when he too is at the mercy of God with his eternity. Mistakenness is the biggest thing for all of us. It's mistakenness. Oops, I didn't realize that. I didn't see that math. That wasn't how I was looking at things. Had I known better, I would have did better. That's the issue for so much of what humanity is about. And because of that conundrum, a lot of people are just doing whatever they want because they understand that God understands that. Oh, he'll forgive us. He didn't give us a manual. We don't know what the hell we're doing. We have all these circumstances, a lot of pain out here. You get slapped around a little bit. You understand how to keep from getting slapped around a little bit. That's all it is. This is a dog-eat-dog world. If you don't kill, you don't eat. Okay, cool. All right, bet. But, God has told you, don't do this. I understand what the conundrum is, but I also understand the fullness of what it is you got on the line. Don't play like that. Don't do this. That's not going to come with anything good. Doing that ain't going to yield the results you hope. Following him, he just going to cower. He ain't going to stand tall. You're a liar. Those kids you killing, they're going to grow up to be the same people that saved your granddaughter's life. You kill them now, she ain't going to survive. Like, these are things he understands that the devil's not going to tell you. While you sacrificing all these kids to Moloch ain't even getting their souls. Those people were supposed to grow up to save your life, save your kid's life, provide you opportunities and circumstances that you can't even perceive right now will be a problem for you. And you killed them off because you're going to serve them up to Moloch, and Moloch ain't even real. Moloch ain't even real. Baal ain't even real. It's just the devil in cosplay. While y'all devoting thousands of years listening to old devils from old books tell you old things, they've been burning for 1,000 years, some of them people that told y'all how to do these things. They souls been in hell for a long time now, and you still following what they talking about? Okay, cool. But remember what I told you. They only lived what? But so long, and the Lord sent them to their final resting place. They've been there. They've been there. Burning ain't new for some of these people that you following. Some of the people that made the world what it is today, they've been hurt. They've been burning. And you gonna follow what they talking about. That's the mistake that a lot of these devil worshippers are making. Oh, we've been doing this for thousands of years. This is how we make the world be controlled by us. Okay. But the people you following, they've been burning for 1,000 years. So, that's what I want to say, man. And the devil's a liar, man. And all the people who he has following him are liars too. All these people that are dedicated to him, they are liars too. They mimic him in every way possible. They want to be just like him in every way possible. There's no reasoning with these people. There's no logic they follow or nothing. They're locked in. And they're destined to be betrayed, and that is all they're going to accept until that day comes. That's the reality of it. liars and they're being lied to. And they don't mind, in a lot of cases. They don't mind being lied to because they don't understand the fullness of what it actually means. That means that you're not going to get what you've been told you're going to receive. That's what it means. That means that all the efforts that you're pouring into whatever it is you're doing is going to fail you. It's not going to come of nothing. That means all the numbers that you think back you up, having so many of y'all following this crap, that means it's all going to deteriorate and you're going to be standing alone. Facing the army of the Lord. Just come strong. All them people you think behind you doing all this stuff, all these different things that y'all agreed to do to keep each other in line, all of it falls apart. And then it's just you versus the army of God. None of y'all ready for that. I tell you, I'm not exempt. I've done things that I shouldn't have done in this life. I think that some of the mistakes I made may not have been overridden, so to speak, by the good that I've done. I believe that. In my 40 years of life, I've made God unhappy more than once. Made mistakes multiple times when I knew the better. I had to learn to respect God before I cared to do so. And still struggle at times with certain things that I have no business struggling with the knowledge and the wisdom I have. It's part of the human experience. I'm not better than you. I may be different. I may have sinned differently. I may not have dedicated this or that or whatever to sin or whatever, but I made mistakes. I might be sitting in the same hell. I might be in the same purgatory. I'm not better than you. And I think that holds weight. There's a lot of these people that are trying to serve up spiritual understanding are trying to also serve up this guise of being better than. Like they don't wrestle with the flesh. Like they don't wrestle with fear. Like they don't wrestle with this desire to have things. No, you do. And being honest about that will make you more credible, not the other way around. Saying that you're struggling disciplining against that, instead of saying you've mastered discipline when you're really not trying to, that's going to hold you down more so in the presence of those who need to listen to what it is that's coming out of your mouth. Human beings are sins. We're sinners. Some sins are more ugly than others or whatever, but at the end of the day, God ain't pleased with none of it. Sometimes we get irritated with people. Sometimes that irritation manifests into something that it shouldn't be. And we end up becoming evil in somebody else's story. That is something that we have to discipline against as human beings. I'm not exempt from that. The truth that comes out of my mouth doesn't make it so that I'm exempt from that. Truth is truth, though. That's what it is. And so as I tell you the truth about my flaws, I also tell you the truth about who I serve, my God, and who his enemy is, which is not at all a strong entity. Not at all someone who's going to stand tall against him. Not at all. You're going to cower in the end. That's the point. So I want to tell all of y'all, a lot of y'all going to be like, well, I don't serve the devil, I serve God. You know you don't. And you're a liar. And you're not going to ever fess up to the truth because that would defeat the purpose of all the lies you told up to this point. It's not for you to tell me anything as it pertains to your truth. I don't expect truth from you. I understand your lies. I understand you are a liar. I don't even understand why. I expect for you to stand on your lie and die on the hill of that lie. This is not me speaking to your willingness to speak truth. This is me speaking to the understanding that you have underneath your lies, for which you would never say in the light. You serve the devil. Star. You understand what I'm saying? You serve the devil. You believe in him. And because you serve the devil, Christian, Judeo-Christian, preacher, with all that Dior dripped all over you, because you serve the devil, there are going to be some things that you don't quite see clearly. How the truth is not something to avoid. Accountability is not something to avoid. That lies are not something to regurgitate out of your mouth because there's power in words. The manipulating people is not going to make it so that you effectively protect yourself against certain things that ultimately you believes lying is going to keep you from having to face. It's not gonna do that. It's not gonna do that. The sacrifices that you're making to the enemy don't actually land in his hands. He ain't getting none of that stuff. You're doing it for nothing. You're piling up your own karma. And you're going to burn for a long time because of it. And there will be no benefits outside of what it is that you see in real time. Whatever benefits you think come of that, whatever structures of it you think, whatever you've seen, that's about as far as it goes as pertains to what you benefit from. And when you die, then the fun comes, basically, because you're going to burn for a long time. For all of it. And you're going to understand that it was for nothing. And that betrayal is going to burn just as hot as the flames. That's the context that you are not able to see in being at war with the truth. That avoidance of truth keeps you from the preparation of the understanding, which is going to make the suffering significantly worse. This is what's coming for you. I'm telling you what's coming for you. You can either believe it, avoid the truth, or not. The truth is beneficial to you, even though you've trained against it. Because that's really what we're talking about, is training. It's a lot of training against the truth. People have trained against the truth. They don't want to have anything to do with truth. And as a result, they've lost sight of the benefits of certain truths. They lost sight. They don't even have any sight of such a concept. They're too busy trying to manifest realities through the lies and manipulation tactics and everything that they've ultimately trained in regards to. What they're going to experience is a grandiose betrayal, a grandiose letdown. That's what they're going to experience, each and every one of them. That what it is they've been taught have been lies, that of whom they've been serving is empty, that for which they did in his name did not manifest any of what it is they were thinking it was going to. And that all of their training in the areas of deceit yield the opposite result of what it is that they speak. In their books, all of it. It doesn't yield what they expect. Bdf 44, I thank you all for watching.